In a continuation of my effort to understand how geology affects what we see in cemeteries, I'm visiting the Crockford Pigeon Mountain Wildlife Management Area. It includes a nice hiking trail and these caves right behind me. Now, I'm not going inside the caves today. However, I am going to visit a cemetery deep in the wilderness. I've made my way to Rape Cemetery. I love finding cemeteries like this in the middle of the wilderness. I'm looking for specific gravestones that are congruent with local geology, and I've not come away disappointed. I have found several granites, as to be expected, but I've also found quite a few field stones in the back section of the cemetery. You can see here there are what I believe to be limestones, or at least one limestone. And then this grave marker here, which I think is interesting, and it's either been painted with white paint, but I don't think it's white paint. What I think it is whitewash. And I believe that you can use limestone to create a whitewash and then cover over the grave. It gives it very interesting appearance. Oh, also on this side of the cemetery, I have found this great sandstone. Especially after visiting the sandstone grave markers of Swanee, I'm always now on the lookout for sandstone markers, and I have found this one. And I want to show you the edge of it, and you can see the pattern. I'm going to bump the aperture up on the camera. You can see the what we know of as Lisa Gang banding, I'm pretty sure, right through here. Hey, that's a great example. That's a really thick band. I love finding cemeteries like this in the middle of the wilderness. This area is known for some sandstone, and I've seen a couple of sandstone markers here, but the area is also known for coal. And of course, you don't see those kind of rocks used as grave markers, but still, they're very important to this area because up until 1924, mining was a very vital part of the economy in this area of North Georgia, and the cemeteries served those mining communities. So I have a treat for you right now. I'm going to take you to an old abandoned coal mine, and we're going to explore it just a little bit, and we're going to look at the rocks from underneath. This should be interesting. If you've ever been to North Georgia, I'm sure this is a familiar sight to you. Earlier, I mentioned that I was taking you to an abandoned coal mine. There also used to be a lot of iron ore mines in certain sections of this area, and you'll see red North Georgia clay along the roadside sometimes. This red is indicative of iron content. This is iron oxide. And so if you're familiar with North Georgia, you've probably seen this before, and I just wanted to show you because I find it very interesting. So So I've made my way to Estelle, Georgia, and I visited quite a few cemeteries in the area. I'm going to explore this tunnel. I'm not sure if this is an old mining tunnel or just a natural cave that's open on both ends. I have been here before. I always follow all the safety precautions, and I'm visiting this tunnel so you don't have to. It's right ahead of me. I'll spin the camera around and show you. The entrance to the tunnel is probably 10 to 12 feet tall. It's pretty drippy on the outside. I imagine there's going to be some water on the inside. Okay, so what you can see ahead of you is what looks kind of like a wall, but it's really just a rise. I'm not really positive exactly what type of rock this is in this tunnel. I believe what we have at the top is what's called Fort Payne Chert. And then what we have here, what I'm walking on, and up to the sides of the wall, I believe that is Chattanooga Shale. So I'm up the rise now. It's about 6 feet tall, and I'm going to head back down this rise now. As I said, it's very shaly. I can feel it clinking below my feet as I'm walking on it. It just has that familiar shale-like sound. But we're going to climb this, and you can see how far above me the ceiling is. The ceiling right now is probably 8 to 10 feet tall. But we're going to climb this rise, and this rise is going to take us right to the ceiling, and then above actually where the ceiling itself also rises, and we're climbing probably 15 to 20 feet right now. I'm having to crouch down, and the ceiling is very close to me now, and then I'm almost to the top of the rise, and the ceiling, the distance between the ceiling and the floor is about maybe 3 feet. So this is what I'm talking about. I hope you can see this. Yeah, there's kind of a close-up of this rock structure. I'm trying not to overexpose it. There, that's better. But I think what we have here on top, well, above this layer, I think is what's called Fort Payne Chert. But the layer that is right now exposed right here, I believe this is called Chattanooga Shale. Oh, you can see how it looks just like shale. Do you see that? That's just great. But I believe that's called Chattanooga Shale. Hey, if any geologists are watching this episode of The Cemetery Detective, chime in. Let me know what you think this rock structure is. Tell me if what I'm looking at here is called Chattanooga Shale, and then if what is above it is actually Fort Payne Chert. I don't know. I'm an amateur who is very interested in geology. Okay, working our way back down this rise here, and I can see water ahead of me where water has pooled at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so yeah, so I don't know what we're looking at here. I think that is, this might all be Chattanooga Shale. And there's definitely, look at the red section there. My guess on that is iron ore, and I think that's what they used to mine in this area of the country. I would love to hear some geologists who would give me a clue what I am looking at. Look at the red. Iron ore, right? I think that's what it is. Okay, heading down, down. There's water. You can see where water has pooled at the bottom of this tunnel. If I were to turn my flashlight out right now, it would be dark. Yep, it's completely dark. Okay. We'll turn this back on and walk along this lower section where the water has pooled. You can see there's water on the bottom. Oh, it's a little muddy. Not muddy, but just mushy. I'm gonna crawl up a little bit. All right, and once again, ahead of me, another what looks like a wall, but it's not a wall, it's just where the shale has piled up. All right, and I'm gonna crawl up. Oh, this is probably 12 feet tall, maybe a little bit more. I can see daylight ahead of me. Can you see that? All right, daylight, daylight. And it's actually getting dark out right now, but I'm at the other end. And I'm out. Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Cemetery Detective, where I found Rape Cemetery, which is in the Pigeon Mountain Wilderness, and I also studied a couple of the other cemeteries close by Estelle, Georgia, and then I explored this fantastic, I think it's a mining tunnel, I believe so. Anyway, I think that this is Chattanooga Shale, and I think that there are some areas where there might be some iron ore. I hope you enjoy my research, mainly of cemeteries, but also the areas surrounding cemeteries and the interesting characters and the people served by those cemeteries. Once again, my name is Keith. Please subscribe if you like my videos. Check out my website, The Cemetery Detective, and follow me on Facebook. I'm on there too. Again, my name is Keith. I will look forward to sharing more cemeteries with you next time.